Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgina and I'm a recovered binge eater and intuitive eating coach with a passion for helping you to say goodbye to food guilt and hello to intuitive eating freedom by becoming an intuitive eater. If you'd like to hit the like and subscribe button on this channel, then you'll be notified every time I release a new video to both inspire and support you. So in this week's video, I'm talking about all things stress and Christmas and eating and feeling out of control around food, all of which was a very common pattern that I used to face every year when it came to this time of year. And I've got some helpful guidance and advice for you if you're feeling the same way, so that you can navigate this Christmas time, perhaps feeling a little bit more in trust of yourself and with more inner peace around getting through the holiday period. So I'm going to look at the triggers for what may cause you to feel the strong urge to eat in response to sort of stressful Christmas situations. And I'm also going to provide a bit of guidance on things that you can start to put in place now and through the Christmas festive time to help you feel a bit more supported and also just to feel less alone, because it can be a very lonely experience to sort of be in the predicament of feeling like you're overeating and binge eating. And it's really quite isolating, so anything I can do to support you with that, this video is here to help. So common sort of difficulties that people face at Christmas, and this would include me. I would say I've been through quite a few of these things I'm about to mention, would first of all be fear of judgment about both how you're eating and sort of your body size and shape, your body image. If you've been an avid dieter for many years, then you've probably become quite used to focusing on your self-worth being rooted in your body image, how much you weigh, or other external values that you consider make you feel more acceptable not only to yourself but to others. So firstly, we want to normalise that because we live in a society that's obsessed with people being thin, even though we know that that isn't the path to health for everybody. It actually can make health worse by focusing on the pursuit of thinness. So it's normal to have those feelings. But also we need to recognise the harm that dieting causes because we know it worsens health outcomes in the long run. What's really needed is to feel more trusting and supportive of yourself and learn to cultivate more trust and peace around your relationship with food and body, so that you're not constantly trying to control what you eat, that you're able to be in more harmony with your body and acknowledge health for what it's really meant to be, which is physical, mental and emotional well-being across all those three pillars. Really is the outcome that generally leads you to the best health and also the best feelings of contentment. So that's a really common issue that people face, is judgment, and I think at Christmas it's heightened because you may be going to more social gatherings with new people and also maybe family that you've not seen for quite some time. A lot of people are still entrenched in diet culture, so you may be concerned again that people are going to be talking a lot about their diets and, you know, maybe judging you based on their beliefs around food and body image, and so that just all creates a potentially quite a stressful situation. I think other things that are quite common to feel stressed about and that may affect your eating and sort of lead to out of control eating is, you know, stress around finances. So that can be a big catalyst for people. You know, it can be an expensive time of year, or there can be pressure to feel like you need to be buying lots of gifts or, you know, going to lots of outings and things like that, and that can be, you know, really stressful situation to be in, as can any sort of family dysfunction that you may have in your life that's heightened again at Christmas time. So that can be quite a stressful situation, wondering how Christmas is going to go if you're, you know, seeing family around that time, you know, and whether that's going to be how you're going to handle it. You know, that can all lead to these sort of ongoing feelings of being quite stressed. If you've been through really difficult personal life situations, so, you know, bereavement, any sort of loss of a relationship, loneliness can be, you know, really paramount at this time of year. So all these things really are asking for your compassion, to know that you're not alone, but also to be really compassionate to yourself. There can be anxiety about just whether you will overeat or emotionally eat. You know, if you're on a rigid diet, then this is the most difficult time of year, because if you're dieting, you're usually controlling everything that you eat. You've got set things and you'll plan everything out and you'll plan ahead for any event that you're going to. But Christmas is really difficult because there's so many unknown variables, and you're often around a lot larger volumes of food than you might normally let yourself be around, and that can feel really overwhelming. And then finally, just sort of that general anxiety about, you know, what you're going to wear and how you might look. So there's the fear of judgment from others, but there's also the fear of how you perceive yourself as well at Christmas time in particular. So that can all be great sources of anxiety and stress, all of which can really be quite triggering for you to do the thing you don't want to do, which is to ultimately eat as a way to cope with those feelings. If you've not got other strategies in place that are non-food based to help you, then food's going to be one of the first things you turn to when you're feeling that way. And again, that is a normal reaction to have if you've never known any other way to deal with the challenges that life throws all of us. And food becomes a very easy crutch that we develop over weeks, months and years, that we'll turn to until we find, you know, a more helpful and more supportive and healthier way to deal with all these things. So bearing that in mind, what I would like to acknowledge with you, whichever of those things resonate, it might be one of them, it might be all of them, is when we're thinking about our situation around food at Christmas time, it's really important to know that we've got the right to savour a meal without judgment and without having to discuss our choices with other people. So if you find yourself sat around the table at Christmas and there's all that talk going on, just please know that you don't have to justify anything that you're eating, and you don't have to engage in diet talk. You can respectfully have some healthy boundaries, and you can keep it that way, and you don't have to over-explain or get involved with conversations that you really don't feel comfortable with. You've also got the right to enjoy second helpings without apology, regardless of what anybody else says. You've got every right to enjoy your food fully, and that's really important. You've also got the right to honour your fullness. So if you feel like you've had enough to eat and someone around the dinner table is encouraging you to have more because they've made it especially for you, you know, developing healthy boundaries again is really key. So you may want to just say thank you and maybe I'll have some later, or thank you, I'm not hungry for anything more right now, but I'd love to take some home with me. So there's always some really good answers you can give that still feel respectful to that person, but that also honour your right to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're comfortably full. Having said that, you're always welcome to say no, thank you to anything that's offered, and you don't have to explain yourself. You know, no is a complete sentence. If you've got a pattern of people pleasing, you'll find that one really, really difficult to start practicing. That used to be me, and I would find it really hard to say no without needing to over explain or over justify. But it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you. What you think of yourself is really key, and it's okay to say no and to not have to say anything other than that. So moving on to strategies to help you with feeling out of control around the holiday season, and you know, if you have got overeating and binge eating patterns that you're concerned about. The first strategy I would suggest is just to make sure you're eating regularly through the day. So rather than thinking, oh, I'll not eat until I get to wherever I'm going because there'll be a lot of food there, that would generally more likely lead you to a binge because you could be overly hungry or just mentally feeling a bit restricted. So eating regularly is really important. No matter what you ate the day before, eating regularly is a really helpful way, not only just to make sure that you're nourishing your body, but just to reduce that trigger for the overeating and binge eating patterns. Making mindful choices around your food as well, so trying to just be present with some food that you're eating, even if it's just for 1 or 2 experiences. You know, just try and cultivate that mindset of savouring the food that you're eating and being present with it, and making time to really taste it, and that can really help you to enjoy the food more as well. The next tip I've got is having a backup plan for stressful feelings that might come up around Christmas. So it may be that you've got someone that feels really good to talk to if you're having some difficult feelings. And it may be that you've got certain activities that you know really help you. So it could be like going out for a walk in nature. It might be a healthy distraction like watching your favourite TV series, an episode or 2. But have a think about the sorts of activities and the things that you would need to help you cope with anything difficult, and plan ahead so that you've got those things in place as and when those feelings arise. Always remember that you can eat whatever you please at any time you like. So making peace with food is key to healing your relationship with food in your body. And one of those big key pieces to work through is giving yourself permission to eat whenever you want and whatever you want. And with time and practice as an intuitive eater, you realise that you don't want to eat chocolate every second of the day or chips every second of the day, and that actually you want to eat a variety of foods that nourish you physically but also are enjoyable for your soul as well. Getting to the sort of near the end of the list, another tip I've got is just monitor the amount of activities that you might be attending over the festive period to suit what still feels good for you. So some people naturally don't do a lot at Christmas, and that's fine. I'm probably in that category, so it's not something I particularly have to worry about. But I know some of you probably do have quite a full schedule. You have a lot of things that you've got planned in, and it can leave you feeling a bit stressed and a bit burned out. So just be aware that you can say no to things. This might be good practice for you to just do what feels comfortable and not ask yourself to do too much. And then finally, don't forget to say no to second servings of food if you don't feel hungry. It's not your job to please everybody at Christmas time, and it's just as important for you to do what's right for you, and you can still do that in a really polite and kind way. So I hope this has helped. On a final note, I've got a new membership coming in January called Nourish Your Soul Society. So if any of you are thinking you're fed up of diets, you're getting through the Christmas period and you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do in January? Because typically that's the time I would start a diet, and you're recognising that it's just not going to work. You know, you've realised diets just aren't the way forwards, and intuitive eating is something you're interested in. If you want to click the link below in the description, you can get yourself on the waiting list for the membership. It's £27 a month. You can cancel any time, and it involves a variety of different aspects of support from me. So it's weekly group coaching, video modules to help you work through the 10 principles of intuitive eating. You're going to have resources and worksheets, and also a community of like-minded women. So I've put it together with real thought over the years that I've been supporting women with this work, to give you the very best of my skills and resources, and also to make it accessible as well for as many people as I can. So I shall look forward to speaking to you again in the next video.